Okay, so we are going to look at the insert statement. So we now have our database, we have our tables. We say that tables, these are the primary data storage entities within the database. They are the basic storage entities in the database, the tables. So how do we now get the data into the table? Okay, because right now our tables are empty, we don't have anything. So how do we get the data into them? So I'm going to clear my editor. Okay, so don't forget to save for your future reference. I don't need to refer to any of this, so I'm just deleting without saving. But for you, go ahead and save. So last time we looked at a query. It was select. My database is already activated, so I don't need to use the. I don't need to write the use command, which is already activated. So we looked at this select star from, then the name of the table. Okay. So we, sorry, it is from, so any table. So maybe I want to get from course. So when I execute this, obviously my table is empty. It is saying me, it is telling me 0 rows fetched. There's nothing within my table. So this is the command that we always write in case we want to see the data within the table. And I always want to maintain that command in addition to this one, the describe. So describe will give me the definition of my table. Okay, whereas the select will give me the data within the table. So I always maintain those two statements. This one to help me see the records. Okay, maybe I want to see what records do I have. And then this one, the definition of my table, that is the column names and their data types and the constraints. So I always maintain those statements. So coming back here, the only command that at least I know for all the time I've been working with SQL that inserts data into the table is the insert statement. Okay, it is the insert statement. So we have different ways we can insert data into the table. Okay, if I can come back here, I'm going to clear this. Into the table. Okay, so one way we can insert data into the table is to insert into all fields of what we call columns. So meaning that we want to insert into all the columns. What I'm saying here is, if I execute this, we want to insert a record in all the columns. A value for code, a value for name, a value for faculty and department, and also duration. So that is what we mean by inserting in all columns. And then the other way, okay, I will mention the other one and you look at it. Let us first look at this one. So the insert command, it takes okay, let us just look at it, but it takes like 3 sections. One is you have to write, we are inserting, that is the command. If you remember, we have looked at basically three commands. Okay, we have looked at the create, we have looked at the create where we created the table and the database. We have looked at the alter. Okay, now we are looking at the insert. Okay, so it is the third statement that you are looking at, in addition to the describe and the select. Obviously we have a separate topic for select, we shall look at it, but for now we need it to see the records, so we always have it, but we have not yet looked at it exactly. So insert, and then the word into, okay, and then the name of the table that we want to insert into. So we want to insert into our table named as course. So since we are inserting into all the columns, we don't need to list any column. So what we do is we just say values. So we want to insert into our, by the way, if you try to read programming as English, it makes much more sense. So like, please insert into the course these values. Insert into the table course these values that I'm going to list here. And these values that you put, they have to follow the order of the column. the columns. So if your column code comes first, the value for column code should come first. And then next is column name, your value for name should come next. Faculty like that. If you mix up, you find that faculty is under name and then department is under duration, like that. Although we have some constraints whereby you won't have characters in the duration, but if there are no, then you may find values mixed up in different columns. So you have to maintain the order. Okay. If you don't have this, then you can always refer to this, that okay, I have to start with code first, so the value for code. So if I run this again, just to see what data type was my code, so my code is a variable character. So all strings values, they have to appear in single quotes. So maybe the course code is 001. Let me add the C. Okay, C001, and then I have to close the quotation. So that is the value for, let me run this again. That is the value for my column code for this record that I'm trying to insert, and then the value for the column name. So again, my name is also a variable character. I can remember that. If you don't remember, you can always execute this to see the data type so that you can write the value in the right way. So the course name, maybe it is this Bachelor of Computer Science. Yeah, BCS. Okay, like that. So that is the name. Or we can choose, right, Bachelor of Computer Science, the full word. And then you put a comma. So each value of a given column, we separate it from the rest of the values with a comma. But don't forget to close the quotation for string values or for variable character values. Then next is my faculty. So my faculty is science, and comma department is also science. Okay, and the years, that is the last column, years. So you can change this back to duration. I forgot, so let us go with years. So years, since year is an integer value, so we don't have to put it in quotes, so we just put 3. Okay, and then we terminate. So we are inserting into the table course, and these are the values, and the values follow the order of the column. Okay, at least for now, we know that these are the columns, and then these are the values to those columns. So we can execute. I press Ctrl Enter on my keyboard to run, and it is telling me one row affected by the last command. So meaning that there's one record that was inserted with these values. And if I run this command again just to check my data, you'll find that C001 is under the course, BCS is under the name column, science is under the faculty, just as I added them in here. So I can pull this so that it is all visible. Okay, and yeah, it's also 3 years. So I can do this, and now you can modify this to insert another record by changing the values. Okay, maybe to say 02, and then here you put your BIT, obviously science, which is also 3 years, and you execute. Obviously, when I run again, I have now 2 records. But remember, I told you when I'm marking the codes, not what you have. So maybe having 2 records in your database, okay, but may I only see one command. So that's what I'll give mark 2, because you only have one statement that inserts. So I'll only mark this, I'll not mark this. That's what I told you, that I always look at the code, not what you have in your database or in your table. So always make sure that you maintain the code. So don't make changes. So if you want to insert another one, at least for now, we could say, we could write another command, insert into course, and then values. And we say, so the last one was C03. This one could be C003, close, and then maybe the course is BBS. Okay, our faculty is management, and
the department. I don't know the departments in management, the faculty of management, but I'll just assume that there is a faculty department named as maybe business. And the number of years is 3.